this one. Think about like grabbing something, pulling in. And then as you step forward, your elbow comes around. Right? Now, they often do this, which is a fist, but the version I prefer when you do this is to do this elbow and then come around, and this elbow. Right? And then you do the other side. So the hand that's more toward the outside is palm up. The hand that's closer to you is palm down. The hand that's palm down, you're going to step forward, bring the elbow over. And then as you spin around, elbow out. And so then if I come this way, the hand that's closer to the outside is palm up. The hand that is closer to you is palm down. In. The palm down one, as you step forward, comes over the top. And then as you turn, Bagua stuff. You know, everybody thinks spinning is, I don't know what it is. It's very simple. It's actually, I said a long time ago, like, if you look at Thai boxing, the basic Thai boxing stuff looks like Sheng Yi, and the advanced stuff looks like Bagua. And that's because when they start doing all the spinning elbows and stuff, that's what the turns are in a Bagua. But, so for example, you know, we start from the front, do this. So, you know, like if he jabs it, I'm trying to pull him off balance. I'm also trying to pull him in to that elbow. Elbow, or I come around like a hook punch. And sometimes I do that. Why? Because I know he's going to block that. And so then I pull it down. And of course, I can turn around and elbow him again. See? And so suddenly it looks like Thai boxing, but it's really Bagua. So again, I go here, and I go here, here. So, now I can go right into the elbow, but again, chances are he's going to block the first thing I throw. Now that doesn't mean that I can't then turn and come spinning elbow, right? Which is, you know, like pure Thai boxing, which you see all the time. But if I add that little piece, or I do this first, knowing that he's going to block it, I'm going to get more out of it, right? Yeah. And I go around, and where I end up? I end up behind him. This is no different than when we go, even without him there, right? 1, 2, 3, and I have you turn, elbow, right? We do it every basic class. And then I have you turn, and turn, right? So I mean, it's Bagua. But I can also go here, 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 here. So it's, again, it's that same Gong into jump. I can leave this here, right? Now remember, let's say I go back the other way now. And I can use this also with it. It's all there. All right, you've seen this kind of stuff before. It's one movement, but it's that 12. It's all applied. So in other words, I go here. Move. Yeah. Okay. So, also, let's say I go this way. Let's not do that. We'll do something outside the outside. Grab it. About now, this arm coming this way and turning, right? And I showed you this, I showed most of you this little trick here, right? But let's say I did this, and instead of this elbow, I did this elbow, and instead of spinning this way, I spin this way. Now again, I can do that one of two ways. I can pivot on my left leg coming around, right? Or I can pivot on my right leg, come on. subtle. Pivot on the left. Pivot on the right. So. If I pivot on the left, pull him into the strike. I can even let go, you know, as I spin. In other words, I go. So as he moves in to chase me. Right? That was pivoting on the left. Does that make sense? Now, I picked up my right. It's all the same thing. Well, let's say he pushes it up. So which one do I put it on? So I'm going to pivot on that. Right, 4.
Especially when he's going to like do arm locks.
Or choke you down.
That was going to be on the right.
Right.
This is Bagua. Not just he's fighting and he's going. Okay. And actually, I should have mentioned this. You know, we did this one. This was the very first one we did. Remember the first Bagua one?
Yeah.
And he didn't get into it, but eyebrow mopping
Yeah.
as you turn. Yeah. So, again, here, start with this elbow. I can pivot on my left, or I can pivot on my right. Okay? And then just follow the sequence and find the technique. It'll be there. The other one I was saying is that when we did this, I talked about this. So as you turn, it opens them up. It's a little hand thing. I went boom, boom, boom. See what I'm doing? But again, I can continue going. Let him turn into me. That's the mistake. That's the same thing with the 7-star thing. When you realize where they are and you turn to try to face them, you turn into something. It's the same thing in boxing too, right? When they slip and wheel and they pivot out, right? It's to make the guy go, oh, you're over there. Boom. Tyson had a nice knockout like that too, when he hopped off to the side and smacked the guy. Right? Work. If it's not an elbow, it's a forearm. If it's not a forearm, it's a palm. Right? And then think about the reverse when we were talking about stopping the shoot. Hand, forearm, elbow. So, elbow, forearm, hand. It works in both directions. Right? So again, if I don't hit with the elbow, I hit with the forearm. And if I don't hit with the right? It's one of Chanta's favorite things to do. Just cut you. As a matter of fact, it's one of the few things that survived on videotape. Right? That one of the tapes that I just had digitized was him doing this thing with Lorette. I trying to start with the more coach. So again, I'm here. Boom. So I can pivot on the front near leg, which is the right, or I can pivot on the far leg, which is the left.
Did I make the second? I wanted to see something. Most likely somebody's gonna try to. Yeah.
Doesn't
They're gonna walk in because they think they're gonna play, especially if they play the elbow game. They're gonna walk into it.
They can play the
They always walk into it, yeah. They always walk into it thinking.
Best thing you can do, throw a kick at that time, right? No, not now. Now you're kind of screwed.
What's going to happen to him as I go like this? And remember, as I walk this way in Bagua, what am I doing?
You brain the arm right.
So what am I doing with his neck?
Cranking.
Yeah. Looks real pretty in the forms. No damage there, right? Except when you realize that it's...
And if you fall backwards, you're breaking his neck. You know, definitely breaking his neck.
You don't want to break his neck.
Or let me fix him up somehow.
Yeah. And here, right? So he pushes me away. Remember this one. Just get the pivots. Really, the thing to get from Bagua is the pivots, and then everything else will fly. Elbow, forearm, hand. And then the old traditional way, which was they always did this, because they wanted to have this hand on the outside door to hit. But they also realized really quickly that if I don't control this arm, it's going to be hard to hit him, especially if I don't control the elbow, because as soon as he draws the elbow back, see, I lost control of the arm. So as he jabs, not only am I deflecting, but I'm controlling.
Okay.
Now I don't want to lose that arm, so I do this.
Actually helps to answer my question.
Right? So I can do that into a lock, because as I come from here to here,
Yeah.
that can become a lock. Now if he starts to stand up and fight it, and he tries to push my elbow off,
It's a wrist lock too.
yeah. Right? And then of course, why?
There's no way if you start to put me in a wrist lock, I'm not gonna walk towards you.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me more. I feel it.
Cool. So he's fighting it.
Right, I want to push off. Now I'm
Yeah,
stuck.
see?
I don't have a
You walked
choice.
in.
I don't have a choice. If I probably pulling away,
Yeah, you'll lose your arm.
and not only that, I create more room for him to do other things. So that was even worse for me.
Good show.
Yeah, either way, this is kind of,
Think about the Bagua thing, right?
yeah.
To turn
That's
the
a,
face.
that's a
If he
cross
feels
face.
better
right?
after charging,
Huh?
if you felt better, you would charge him.
Nothing practice like this.
Right. There's that hand. And they're like, why do they have like weird formations?
That they say use the blade, the blade,
Yeah.
the inside blade, and just like, that
Keep playing, keep playing.
that really shocks.
There's a lot here, so I'll let you keep playing. Do this off of him grabbing me, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's works too. Yeah.
Right. Let's see, let go of it. It's okay.
Now you're kind of, now you're really that, but.
I've shown you some of the application how it was traditionally intended to be, right? I've shown you some ways that you take these ideas and apply them in a more, I don't know, modern context, right? And I've shown you that once you get principles, the technique is fluid. In other words, I'm going to spin on one leg, or I'm going to spin on the other leg. I'm going to block this way, so I'm going to grab the elbow and control the elbow. I'm going to block this way, so something else is going to happen. You know, I'm knowing that I'm stepping up and stepping back, or I'm stepping back, stepping back. What they do then, you know, dictates. Well, jiu-jitsu, they say like, you know, you pick the submission that I submit you in, because of the way that you move. For example, I'm never going to fight to get a triangle. I have you in the guard. I'm waiting to see how you try to pass my guard. How you try to pass my guard is going to have me decide what I'm going to do to you. I can sweep you, end up on top. I can arm bar you. I can, you know, arm lock you, like Kimura you. Or I can put you in a triangle. I'm not going to fight though to get triangle when the triangle isn't there, or fight to get the arm lock when the arm lock's not there. That's a white belt thing, right? But again, I hope I gave you some ideas about how traditional was supposed to work and how to apply it in practical fighting. Any questions? All right, talk too much.